Cinematic Shuffle has shuffled once again. This time leading me all the way back to 1984 to Beverly Hills, California, where I get to revisit the film series that started Eddie Murphy's movie career, I guess you could call it. It's Beverly Hills Cop. The heat is on in this fast-paced action comedy starring Eddie Murphy as Axel Foley, a street-smart Detroit cop tracking down his best friend's killer in Beverly Hills. Axel quickly learns that his wild style doesn't fit with the Beverly Hills Police Department, which assigns 2 officers to make sure that things don't get out of hand. Now, before I go on with my review of Beverly Hills Cop, please stick around to the end of the review, which I will be revealing what the Cinematic Shuffle has decided I review next. You don't want to miss that, so stick around. Now, let's go on with my review of Beverly Hills Cop. I saw this series way late in the game. The first time that I ever saw it was only about 6 years ago. Before that, I never saw any of them, but I saw a lot of Eddie Murphy's other films, which everybody else seems to hate. I don't, though. I typically like everything that he does, at least a little bit. Even Pluto Nash, you know? Meet Dave and 1,000 Words. I like them all. Screw it. But everybody and their mom, if they're talking about Eddie Murphy, they're probably going to be talking about Beverly Hills Cop. And for good reason. There's definitely something classic about this film when you watch it that honestly kind of feels a lot different than what you would normally find with Eddie Murphy. Because yeah, the comedy is there, but so is drama, so is a lot of heart, so is a lot of emotion. It's definitely all-encompassing, it's definitely well-rounded in terms of everything that it offers, though I would say plot-wise it is a little bit episodic, you know, kind of like a Law and Order episode, or I guess, you know, just a police drama, you know. The mystery isn't all that original, you're just talking about solving somebody's murder, that's it. But what makes it so special is, you know, Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy being himself, bringing his comedy, bringing his charisma to the screen, and just making everybody laugh. You know, and it's not just him either. You also got Judge Reinhold, or whatever his name is, in the movie as well. And I've always enjoyed him, even though he is kind of a one-note actor. He's just fun to watch. And it's kind of his chemistry with Eddie Murphy in this film that is kind of legendary in a way, but honestly, you know, Eddie Murphy's chemistry with everybody in the movie is great. He just shines on screen. I wish the plot, the story of the film, the mystery was a little bit more captivating than it is, because I wasn't pulled in so much with that. I didn't really care that much about it because it really was just a basic police mystery of trying to solve a murder. And when it comes down to that, it becomes a little bit predictable. You know exactly how it'll end, even if you've never seen the movie before. That's unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. Another sort of negative that I have with this film is the original score. On one hand, everybody can recognize it whether they've seen the movie or not. On the other hand, it is used way too much in the movie. What's the song? It's the that thing. And that's fine, it is a recognizable little ditty, but they legitimately use it like every 10 minutes in the movie, and it's not really a real variation of the song that'll, you know, match different scenes for different reasons. Instead, it's mostly the same exact ditty copy-pasted throughout the film, and it gets to be annoying. I'm like, oh god, this song again? Like, the ditty's fine. I just wish it wasn't used as often as it was, and this is something that I talked about in my original review 6 years ago. And I mean, you know, maybe in the 80s everybody was like ding ding dum 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 dum. But in 2022 I'm just like, get a variation, get different songs. The movie would still be good, you know? Thankfully though, you can forgive most of that because the majority of the film is good, you know? Parts of it are aged, of course, it's almost 40 years old at this point. So certain things feel of their time, but thankfully not a ton. I think it's funny, I think it's endearing, I think there's a lot of heart in the film that makes some of that stereotypical stuff still feel pretty original and fresh for even in 2022. It's just, yeah, it's just that story. The story could have been a little bit better, it could have been a little bit more original than just a typical let's solve this murder case. And it's not even worth mentioning that obviously Eddie Murphy is the only person that could play Axel Foley, even though it's the type of character we have seen lots of times in the past. That is, you know, a police officer that doesn't play by the books, but is lovable and is funny and is charming in their own right. I mean, you got Will Smith doing the same thing in Men in Black before he turns into, you know, Agent J. But I could obviously see why people love this movie. I could obviously see why Eddie Murphy created more films in the franchise, because people wanted to see him as Axel Foley again and again and again. That's why he's doing another, the fourth Beverly Hills Cop movie right now. I think it's just called Axel Foley. I get it, and I'm really curious on how they're going to approach it now that everybody seems to hate Eddie Murphy and his career now. I'd love to see a return to that character, just to see how things would change. Anyways, let's take a quick look at what I scored Beverly Hills Cop, which was a B+ letter grade. Final overall score of 81%. 81 out of 100 possible stars. You can see from my bias score down below that I scored that a little bit higher than the unbiased score, which is, you know, that's expected given the fact that it is a comedy and comedy is subjective. If I find it funny, you might not, and that's fine, but in general, I find this film to be an all-encompassing, well-rounded comedy that works for a lot of different reasons. That might not be true for you, so please let me know in the comments down below what you did think about Beverly Hills Cop. Is it classic for a reason? Should they have made Beverly Hills Cop 2, 3, and now 4? Let me know. Now, as promised, let's take a look at what the Cinemax Shuffle has randomly selected for me to watch and review next time. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm gonna find that out right now. The Last Stand. Is that the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger? I don't think it's talking about X-Men The Last Stand. I believe it's talking about The Last Stand, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Forrest Whitaker. I saw that one in theater, and I think that was the last time I saw it, so that should be interesting. And after that, that leaves 777 more movies to review for the Cinematic Shuffle. So in order to make sure that you don't miss out on the next review, The Last Stand, or any other Cinematic Shuffle reviews, make sure that you hit the like, the subscribe button, and the bell to be notified when I come out with those reviews. And until then, peace out.